welcome to the deep dive, where we plunge into these really key moments that have shaped our world. Today, we're looking at something pretty specific. A single, almost unbelievable moment. I mean, talk about pressure. An entire empire's future, a major religion's path, all changing because of one event. Picture this. The weight of everything on one leader, facing impossible odds. And then something happens. A vision comes out of seemingly nowhere. Changes it all. We're talking about Emperor Constantine, Roman Emperor Constantine, and a really fateful battle, a crucial bridge crossing, and this vision, it reset the Western world. Our source for this deep dive is Aaron Rodney's piece, Constantine's Vision, the turning point for Christianity. Really fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it really is. And our mission today, essentially, is to get a handle on the stakes back then in 312 AD. They were immense. We want to explore, what was this vision exactly? How did it actually play out on the battlefield? Because the odds were stacked against him. And then the big one, the legacy. It was monumental. We'll look at the historical accounts, both Christian and pagan, which is interesting in itself, and how people have interpreted this defining moment ever since.
Okay, so let's go back. Autumn, 312 AD. What's the vibe in the Roman Empire sounds like? Tense doesn't quite cut it.
Oh, definitely not. It's thick with tension. Suffocating almost.
Yeah.
The empire's fate is literally hanging by a thread. You've got this looming civil war.
Right, between Constantine in the west.
Commanding the western part of the empire.
And Maxentius, who set himself up as emperor down in Rome itself.
Exactly. He holds the city. So a clash is coming. It's inevitable. And it's high stakes. Winner takes all. Loser, well, loses everything.
And the flashpoint is this bridge, the Milvian Bridge. Why there? What was so special about it?
Well, it wasn't just any bridge. Strategically, it was the way into Rome over the Tiber River. The absolute gateway. Control that bridge, you control access to the heart of the empire.
So Maxentius is holding Rome. That must have put him in a strong position, right?
Incredibly strong.
Yeah.
I mean, Rome itself, famously hard to attack, big walls. Plus, he had a powerful army, well-supplied, probably bigger than Constantine's.
And Constantine, he's marched south, won some smaller fights.
Right, but he's deep in enemy territory now, far from his base, outnumbered, facing the enemy in their capital city. Our source really flags the uncertainty Constantine must have felt that night before the battle. It's a real crisis moment for him.
Yeah, you can imagine. So tell us about Constantine himself at this point. He wasn't always leaning towards Christianity, was he?
No, not at all. For most of his life, he worshipped the traditional Roman gods, Jupiter, Mars, the usual pantheon, like pretty much everyone else.
But he knew about the Christians.
Oh, yes. He'd heard of them. This sort of emerging group, kind of mysterious to many, talking about one single true god. And interestingly, his father, Constantius, had actually been quite sympathetic towards Christians. Didn't persecute them like some others did.
So maybe that planted a seed, made him a bit more open to different ideas, especially when he really needed an edge.
Perhaps. It certainly sets the stage for him being receptive, potentially when things got desperate, needing an advantage, or maybe, divine help.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. The story pivots here, doesn't it, on this vision. What do the accounts actually say happened as the day's ending, battle looming?
Well, this is where it gets wild. We have accounts from Eusebius, the Christian historian.
Okay.
And Lactantius, who was actually a pagan orator at the time, though he later converted. Having both is significant.
Right. So different perspectives, potentially. What did they see? Or what did Constantine see?
They say that Constantine and his army saw this incredible sight in the sky as the sun was setting, a brilliant cross, shining apparently brighter than the sun itself.
Wow. Just appearing in front of a mostly pagan army.
Exactly. Imagine the shock, the confusion, maybe fear. Seeing this symbol of a small, often persecuted faith just blazing there.
Incredible. And it wasn't just the image, right? There were words.
That's the other crucial part. Accompanying this cross, these words appeared. In hoc signu vinces.
In this sign, conquer.
Precisely. In this sign, conquer. Think about that message. To an army facing bad odds, nervous about the next day, seeing this symbol may be alien to many of them, with a direct promise of victory.
That's intense. Cuts right through the fear, you'd imagine.
Absolutely. An unmistakable command.
So was it seen as, a genuine miracle? Or maybe some kind of psychological boost at just the right time? How did Constantine react?
Well, the accounts suggest he was understandably deeply affected. He wrestled with it. I mean, this was the symbol of a faith his empire had actively persecuted.
Right. Not exactly standard military insignia.
Not at all. But then, that night, it reportedly got clearer. He had a dream.
A dream after the vision.
Yes. A figure identified as Christ himself appeared and told him exactly what to do. Mark his soldiers' shields with a specific symbol, the Chi-Rho.
Chi-Rho, what's that?
It's the first two Greek letters of Christ's name,
Yes.
X and P, basically intertwined.
Okay.
And this symbol, the Chi-Rho, was to be his new standard, his sign for victory, his labarum, it came to be called.
So he wakes up, he's had the vision, the dream, the instructions. What does he do? Orders, shields painted. How does that go down with the troops?
He acts immediately, wakes at dawn, orders the men,
Yeah.
paint the Chi-Rho on your shield.
Just like that.
Just like that. Now, the source is clear. There was definitely some skepticism. You could imagine, right, a pagan soldier thinking, we're painting what on our shields?
Yeah, the symbol of a minority faith they might not understand or even trust.
Exactly. But they obeyed him, whether it was belief in the vision or just loyalty to their commander or maybe just a feeling of, what have we got to lose?
Yeah, they did it. And the key thing is, they marched towards the Milvian Bridge feeling different, emboldened.
That psychological edge. Huge. That feeling of unity, of maybe having divine backing, that can make a massive difference when morale is everything. It's almost like psychological warfare, maybe unintentionally.
So how does that actually play out on the battlefield? This feeling, this symbol, does it change how they fight?
Oh, absolutely. Think about it from a soldier's point of view.
Okay.
You've outnumbered, maybe doomed now. Your shield has this symbol.
Yeah.
Your emperor says guarantees victory, backed by a god. It's personal now.
Not just a banner, but something you carry.
Exactly. It fuels this fervor. You push harder, you stand your ground when maybe you wouldn't have, you charge more aggressively, and the enemy, Maxentius' troops, they might not be expecting that level of ferocity from a smaller army. It can absolutely shift the dynamic.
So, October 28th, 312 AD, the Milvian Bridge, they clash. How does this emboldened army actually perform?
Well, first, Maxentius makes a huge mistake, a strategic blunder.
What does he do?
Instead of staying safe behind Rome's walls, where he probably could have held out for ages.
Right, the smart defensive play.
Yeah. He leads his troops out for an open battle. He was apparently confident in his bigger army, maybe too confident.
He abandoned his strong defensive position.
He did. Maybe underestimated Constantine, maybe just wanted a quick, decisive win. Whatever the reason, it was a bad call.
And Constantine's army carrying the Chi-Rho,
Yeah.
how did they fight?
They fought like demons, according to accounts, with this almost supernatural energy. They didn't just defend, they attacked relentlessly, pushing Maxentius' larger army back, steadily back, toward the Tiber River.
So the momentum shifts.
Completely. Maxentius' forces may be expecting a more cautious fight, or just hit by this wave of, well, religious zeal combined with disciplined fighting.
And then the retreat becomes a disaster right at the bridge.
Total disaster. They try to fall back over that pontoon bridge Maxentius had built next to the stone one.
The extra bridge he built.
Yeah, but he couldn't take the strain. Thousands of soldiers trying to cross in a panic. It buckles, maybe it breaks, maybe it was even sabotaged, we don't know for sure.
Okay.
Utter chaos. Soldiers in heavy armor falling into the river, drowning. And in the middle of it all, Maxentius himself.
He drowns too.
Swept away by the river, gone. It turns a retreat into a complete rout, a slaughter.
Wow. So Constantine wins. Decisively.
Stunningly. It's a military victory, but for him it must have felt like a spiritual vindication too.
And he rides into Rome.
Welcomed as the rightful emperor, not seen as an invader. The vision, the sign, the prophecy, it all came true on the battlefield.
Incredible. So, okay, he wins the battle, wins the empire. But this is bigger than just Constantine, right? What are the ripples outwards from this? The legacy?
Oh, the ripples are enormous. World-changing, really. This victory, fueled by the vision, wasn't just personal. It fundamentally starts to reshape the Roman Empire. Politically, spiritually, everything.
And how is the vision itself seen? Right away, were there different takes on it?
Yes, pretty much immediately. You get two main interpretations forming.
Okay, let's dig into that. Miracle or politics? What's the thinking?
Well, the Christian writers, people like Eusebius, they absolutely presented it as divine intervention. God acting in history, choosing Constantine, validating Christianity, proof of Christ's power.
That makes sense from their perspective.
Totally. But then you also get the more, let's say, secular or even cynical view developing later, that Constantine was just incredibly shrewd.
A political masterstroke.
Exactly. Recognizing the Christians were growing, organized, influential, and pockets. Maybe adopting their symbol was a genius move to win their loyalty, a crucial block of support in a divided empire.
So that view doesn't necessarily deny he saw something, but focuses on how he used it.
Precisely. It frames it more in terms of political pragmatism, and honestly, that debate about divine sign versus political tool, It still echoes today. But here's the thing. Whatever the origin, divine, political, psychological, a mix of all three,
Yeah.
the consequences were undeniable and massive.
Right. So what was the first big concrete change that came out of this victory?
The absolute landmark, immediate result was the Edict of Milan, issued the next year, 313 AD.
The Edict of Milan. Okay.
Constantine issues it jointly with Licinius, who ruled the eastern part of the empire at the time. And it wasn't just about, we'll stop persecuting Christians.
It was more than just tolerance.
Much more. It granted Christians full freedom of worship everywhere in the empire. And crucially, it ordered that all church property that had been confiscated during persecutions, it had to be returned.
Wow. That is huge. Restoring property, giving official freedom.
It's a seismic shift. This is the moment Christianity really starts moving from the margins, from being persecuted to being openly practiced, recognized, even starting to be favored by the state.
So what did that mean practically? For ordinary Christians, for church leaders, after centuries of hiding or facing danger?
It meant everything. Suddenly you could worship openly, build churches without fear, Christian leaders could become public figures, gain influence.
A complete turnaround.
Complete legitimacy, imperial backing,
Yeah.
or at least protection. Being Christian went from being a liability, sometimes a death sentence, to potentially even being an advantage socially or politically.
Because the emperor himself was now linked to their faith.
Exactly. Seen as their protector. Maybe even one of them, though his actual baptism only came much later, on his deathbed. But this imperial favor just supercharged the growth of Christianity. It starts becoming institutionalized in a way it never could before. And the speed of change is just astonishing. By the time Constantine dies in 337 AD,
So about 25 years after the battle.
yeah, just a couple of decades later, Christianity isn't a fringe faith anymore. It's arguably the dominant religion of Rome. The whole spiritual landscape is transformed. And the cross, think about that. Once a symbol of execution, of shame, of persecution for Christians,
Becomes the symbol of the empire.
becomes an emblem of the Roman Empire itself. And eventually, of course, a core symbol for Western civilization. It shows how one moment, one vision, can completely flip the script.
Staggering. But was it all smooth sailing, this sudden rise to power? Did it bring any unforeseen problems for the church itself, even back then?
That's a really insightful question. And yes, the sources hint at complexities. This new imperial connection wasn't simple.
How so?
Well, suddenly the emperor has an interest in church unity. Disagreements within Christianity, theological debates, they become imperial problems. Constantine himself calls the Council of Nicaea partly to sort out doctrines like the Arian controversy.
So state involvement in religious doctrine.
Exactly. And also, you get this influx of new people joining the church, maybe not always out of deep faith, but because it's now socially or politically advantageous. Does that change the character of the faith? Some worried it did. The persecuted, fervent minority starts dealing with the messy realities of being a powerful institution.
Fascinating. The law of unintended consequences, maybe?
Perhaps. It's never simple.
It really is incredible, though, tracing it all back. That night before the battle, that vision, whether you see it as divine or a brilliant gamble,
Or both.
or both, it didn't just change Constantine's life, it rerouted history. So much of Western culture, spirituality, you can draw a line back to that moment.
Yeah, and that brings us back to that core question from our source, doesn't it? Would Rome have turned Christian without Constantine's vision? Maybe. Eventually. Who knows? But, as Rodney writes, on that fateful evening in 312 AD, one man saw a symbol of hope, followed its message, and in doing so reshaped the world. It really is something to think about, isn't it? The sheer impact of that single moment, echoing down all these centuries.
It absolutely is. Makes you wonder about other turning points, maybe ones we don't even recognize as clearly. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Constantine, the Milvian Bridge, and that world-changing vision. Definitely gives you something to ponder how one event, one decision, can send ripples through time. Until next time, keep digging deeper.